That's the wrong hole. That's the wrong hole. You're probably thinking, what the fuck is this? Right, just bear with me. I do have a reasonable explanation as to why I'm starting this video with putting on some white gloves. Now, the actual reason, if I gotta be honest, it's not fun. Other than fucking, I feel like I'm about to give you some silver service. I mean, we could call this a silver service video because of the information I'm about to give you is very top notch, sir or ma'am. But these white, basically, I pick my fingers. Right, you ain't gonna be able to see it, are you? Kind of. You can kind of see. The past like 6 to 12 months, I've been thinking a lot. Stress, multiple areas. Stress in the business, mainly. But when I have stress, when I'm thinking, when I'm in deep thought, I pick the skin around my fingernails. And Liv, my girlfriend, the other day, she's like, why don't you just wear gloves? And I'm like, huh. And then we found these, and so far, I mean, they are helping. They are helping. So, there's a lesson for you, which is that if you're trying to outsmart your sabotaging quirks and your bad habits and trying to outsmart it, sometimes you can't outsmart it. Sometimes you just need to literally do something physical to stop you from fucking doing it. So here is me. I'm moaning so much, like fucking got holes in them. Anyway, so what is this video about? We're gonna jump straight in, right? And it's the fact you're watching this because you want to impact other people with your story, all right? You've been through something in your life, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's physical abuse, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's cancer, whether it's a freak accident, whether it is a miscarriage. Like, you've been through something traumatic, because trauma is different to everybody. And I think I saw that in the US alone, over 70% of adults in America identify with the fact that they had been through something traumatic. So we could probably say that it's an alarmingly high percentage globally that relate to the fact that they've been through something traumatic. And I would say that nearly everyone has. Okay, so you've been through something. You've been through something traumatic. You've been through some shit, and you are like, you know what? Whilst I'm alive on this planet, if I have anything to do with it, I don't want someone else to go through the shit that I went through. Or if you've recently broken your silence over something, you're like, I don't want someone to continue living in silence for any longer if I have anything to do with it, right? I'm going to do something about it today. And yeah, I work with trauma survivors, like I said, all kinds of trauma survivors, and I have done for years now. And I help them with multiple different things, but they are all different paths to helping people, to using their story to create change in the lives of other people, whether it's helping them launch a business, whether it's helping them write a best-selling book. And by the way, look at our list now. It's growing, right? Now I feel like, here we go. Can I compliment you in a wide range of divine books that will whet your appetite, that will send you on a roller coaster of emotions, from happiness to absolute fucking depression, back to inspiration, over to motivation, to purpose, to fuck this, I'm going to do something about my story. We've just released a new book a couple of days ago, Fingered by Dana and Jackie's Turning the Tables on Trauma. Amazing. So yes, I've helped people with business, with writing and publishing a book, with landing speaking gigs, growing an audience, being an influencer. But all of those go towards the same thing. And what you'll find is that when you do one thing, you're like, what is next? What else can I do? Okay. And I have picked up on something that I'm really hoping is going to help you today, like if there's just one thing you can take away from this video, is kind of like what I'm going to talk to you about now. Now, first of all, the fact that you know that you want to help other people is fantastic. Okay? It's really good. And I believe that for people who have been through shit times, through hard times, that know what it's like to experience and live with pain, and we tend to wear our heart on our sleeves, therefore we don't want other people to go through the same thing. And I think that that is one of, like, you can't buy that trait. It's a trait that we have, and I think a lot of us do have it. You have it, it's why you're watching this. And I just want to first start off by saying here that you are amazing, and you are a warrior, and you're a born leader. Okay? To be fair, you are already a leader, and I think once you step into those shoes, you're going to be just fine. All right? Now, you probably have an idea of like how you want to help people. And for a lot of people, it's usually writing a book. That tends to be the first thing that comes to their mind. Oh, I'm going to write a book. Whether they do it or not is a different matter, but that's usually the first idea that comes to mind. But here is something that this is the main point of the video. That if you want to help people with your story, you got a message, you got a voice, and you want to help people find their own voice. You want to help people to see that there's hope at the end of the tunnel, and that you just really want to change their lives, but you don't know how, or there's a block. Those are the two things that we're going to cover. You don't know how, or there's a block. Now, if there is a block, which a lot of times there is, it usually comes down to a lack of belief that you can actually do it. A lot of times people are like, oh, I just don't have the time to write the book, or I don't really have the time to... That's all bollocks. It's all bollocks. It's fear, and it's a lack of belief that you can actually do it. We are raised in a world, we're raised in usually in family dynamics that prevent us from being the center of attention. And the words that are fed to us growing up, and usually the environment that we're in and what happens to us, kind of, sort of enforces this belief system that we aren't worthy of greatness, because if we're worthy for greatness, we wouldn't have gone through the shit, that we wouldn't have gone through that shit. So it's like, well, I deserved it, or, there's something wrong with me, hence why I attracted that, or whatever. And it's all bullshit. That just comes down to the story that we're telling ourselves. And I talk a lot about lens. And we see life through a certain lens. A lot of times we're not aware of the lens of which we're seeing life through. But once we become aware of how we're seeing life, then that's when we realize that we have the power to change the lens that we're wearing. Okay, and it's very powerful that we are aware of that we are the master of creating change, because we are. As long as it's within our control, we can control it. Am I saying it's easy? It's not easy. It's not an overnight thing. I mean, sometimes, depending on what it is, sometimes it is. Okay, but it's usually our belief system that, Perry, it's not an overnight thing. Okay, well, if that's what you believe to be true, then that's what's going to be true. Whatever you believe to be true is true. Okay, so you need to believe that everything I do mean everything that you've been through, that one could see in a negative light, you have to see in a positive light. Because that right there is the pain that you need to flip around and turn into your purpose, because that's the purpose that's going to give you the life that you want. All right. So we first need to believe that we can actually do it, and you can do it because you just need to look in the mirror at who the fuck you are today, because the fact that you are here and you're not 6 feet down in the fucking ground, right, or you're not ashes spread out in the sea, the fact that you're here shows that you have the power to help other people. Because there's many people that have been through what you've been through that aren't here today, and there's people that have been through what you've been through that are here today, but they may not be here tomorrow. And all it takes is that one video, that one message, that one this, that one that can actually help them. And it can. It really fucking can, right? I don't know, I'm just looking at my other screen here. You won't be able to see it because I'm not sharing my screen, but did I delete it? I know I put it in because I want to read it out to you guys. I downloaded a screenshot of a message I got on Instagram. And, perfect, I got it. So somebody messaged me on Instagram, and they just said to me three messages. Now, I would pop it on the screen and do some cool editing that other people do, but if I got to be honest with you guys, that if I was to do editing on these videos, I wouldn't do the YouTube videos. The only way that I can do these YouTube videos consistently is if I don't edit. Could I get other people to edit? Yeah, and I might do that at a future date. But right now, I just want to come on, speak from the heart. That is it. And upload the fucker. And if it does great, it does great. If it helps one person, it doesn't matter, because that's the whole point. It's helping one person. All right. So I'm just going to read it out to you, what this message says. And it's a woman that messaged me on Instagram. And all she did was she messaged me just three DMs, okay? Very short. First DM, was going to take my life tonight. Second DM, then my sister sent this page. Third DM, thank you. Was going to take my life tonight. Then my sister sent this page. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say to you. All right? I get fucking hundreds of DMs and not thousands of DMs. Well, I have done. And I get multiple different variations, but that is the most proof in your face of how you can save someone's life. So I'm sharing that with you because it happens, it can happen, and it will happen once you step into that power and you take ownership over the fact that you do have what it takes to help other people. Okay? So it's that belief. Now, sometimes you can just change your belief by changing the words that you're telling yourself. You know, if you change that internal belief system, you flip it around, then that belief will then flow into the words, into the thoughts, and then into the words, into your actions, and then your reality changes. Yes, but sometimes you just have to force yourself into action and then let the belief kind of naturally flip around when it's seeing the tangible proof in the real world because of what your actions are creating. And there's been many situations in my life where that has happened. So that's the first thing. But the second thing, right, which is the main point I want to get onto, is when it comes to impacting other people with your story, could you write a book? Yes. Could you become a speaker? Yes. Could you become an influencer? Yes. Could you become a coach or a healer and launch a business and help people through a program? Yes. But what do all of those things have in common? They take time to do. None of those fucking things you'll get done today. None of them. Okay? You will not. None of them. And in fact, none of those things you'll be able to do within the next 4 weeks. And if you want to challenge me on that, go ahead, do it, prove me wrong, because it's going to be a win-win situation anyway, right? But you won't be able to do it in the next 4 weeks. So then it comes, okay, right? Because if we know that fear loves time, and we give time to the fear, like if you start writing your book, like right now in the moment, you're like, right, I'm going to start writing a book, because you've woken up on the right side of the bed, you see my video, whatever, you're inspired, you're going to start writing your book. Shit, a book takes time. 4 weeks into the future, 8 weeks into the future, reality keeps on hitting on your door, fears keep on speaking into your mind. Well, that last chapter was a bit shit, wasn't it? Oh, but your book is getting a bit too long now. Your book is quite short. Oh, what about, you ain't going to release it, because you're so far down a rabbit hole of, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just kidding myself. I actually thought I could live that life? Come on. Right? Obviously not. You see where I'm going with this? What you need to do is take action now, today, in the next 24 hours. Then you go to sleep, you wake up the next day, and then you do the same thing. And what you ask yourself is this one question. And it's a question that I ask myself every fucking day. I ask the same question. And that is what has allowed me to do this, share my story, impact people. I challenge you to go through my social media and see the message that I have been sharing, and go back and see how long I've been doing it for. I've been doing it since 2018. So that's 6 years. My dad died June 1st, 2017. And I started the beginning of 2018 properly doing this. My dad's death became really a big sort of ignition into my purpose as to why I'm doing this since 2018, and I have not stopped since, and I ain't gonna fucking stop. Sure, my message might evolve into bigger things and things of that nature, but it's still gonna be under the umbrella of helping survivors, helping them find their voice, helping them build better lives, because that's what we all deserve. Okay, but yes, I've done a TEDx, yes, I've done a talk, yes, I don't know, we got the film script, we got the documentary, we got the business, we got the keynote talk, we got this, we got that. Yes, they all didn't happen in a day, no, but when you wake up and you ask yourself this magical question, which I'm going to tell you about in a second, and you do that consistently, the compound effect takes over. And the compound effect is going to be your biggest friend in the entire world, because the compound effect, what it does is, you have control. You work on what's within your control by doing something every single day. But then with time, the compound effect takes over. And that is outside your control. But that is where the universe kicks in and says, okay, we're going to reward you. We're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we're going to make that happen. Right? We're going to send you a signal so you message that person, and then boom, you're going to get it. Right? Because you've put in the work. Because you're in this for a reason that is beyond yourself. And because you're in this for that one question that you wake up every single day and you ask yourself, which is, how can I impact one person today? How can I help one person with my story? How can I help one person with my voice? That is the question. You wake up, you ask yourself that. And some days will be very, very challenging. Maybe the first day you ask yourself that, it'll be very, very, very challenging. Because you're like, I don't know. I don't know how to help someone. I'm not even vocal of my story yet. How can I help someone? I shared my story 237,000 times. How could I do it again? I don't know. What a great question to ask yourself, right? What a fantastic problem to have. Because instead of asking yourself, right, how do I get the money together to buy a bottle of vodka? How do I binge watch this TV show now for the next 6 hours when I should be doing this? How do I do this? How do I do that? You're asking yourself, how do I save a fucking life? How do I impact people who are currently living in silence? How do I become a lighthouse so I can shine a light on all of those people lost out at sea? And they're going to fucking crash any minute now and they're going to sink. But if I shine a light, they're going to know how to get back to shore, to get back to safety. What can I do today to help someone? I'm telling you right now that this is my secret. This is what I do. I ask myself that question all the time. Because it's very easy to get wrapped up in a big picture of things. I'm going to write a book. I want to help hundreds of people. I want to do a TEDx because I want it to go viral on YouTube. I want to like big, big. And you get lost in the bigness. And the bigness takes a long time to happen. And when you're on that, you put on these blinkers and you're not seeing the one person here and the one person here online, in your Facebook DMs, liking your Instagram posts, in your own house, in your family's house, in your local church, the fucking cashier that you speak to all the time. You don't see them. But they're the one that's struggling. They're the one that's contemplating whether they should kill themselves. They're the one fucking thinking that they're alone on this planet because they don't have any friends. They have an unsupportive family. They don't think that anyone will be able to understand what they've been through. But you fucking will. Okay? And as soon as you are like, how can I help one person today? And by the way, I'm not going to give you the answers to how you can help one person today, because one, is a challenge for you because this turns you into the leader that you need to be. And two, I 100% fucking believe in you that you can figure it out. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And when there's purpose, you will find... I'll tell you, I get passionate about this shit. When you're in your purpose, there's no, what is the strategy? Fuck the strategy. Purpose is the strategy, because purpose finds a way every single time you fucking demand a way. A way gets created for you because of the energy that you bring when you're in your purpose. Okay? So, I know we're going to have some people inside the Power School. We're going to have some people who've already published their books that I showed you before. You're going to be watching this. So right now, okay, you've published your book. Okay? You published your book. But now it's like, all right, cool, you published your book. Wake up tomorrow, you're going to take your book, you're going to put it in your hand, you're like, who can I give this to today? Is there a homeless person on the street I can go have a conversation with, have this in my pocket, and be like, maybe steer the conversation that way, give them a copy of your book? Can you mail your copy of your book to someone, right? Can you give a PDF away for free to someone who can't afford it? Can you go down to your local bookstore? Can you go to your local church and hand a book in? For those people who don't have a book and you don't really have any, you're just starting and you're just thinking, how can I help someone, right? Actually, I see, when I get passionate, I start to go down a path of like, give an answer. I'm not going to give you the answer. I'll give you one answer. Oh, fuck it. I'll give you a couple answers. You go onto your Instagram. Oh shit, go onto it. But it's so, like, you can go onto your Instagram DMs, right? You can have a look at every single person that's liked your content. Do a post that talks about trauma. Do a reel that talks about trauma. Like, there's 1,000,001 ways that you can lead with your story, like you can lead with your voice. But what I'm really trying to stress to you guys is, I'm reining myself back, because that's like a whole nother video on all the ways that you can impact people with your story. But it's not about how you can impact people with your story. It's about, because it's just it's important, but it's nowhere near as important as you think it is. Those are the things that are like the natural pieces of the dominoes that just happen to fall. You're like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Speaking, well, that's just natural. You've done your books. See, for me, okay, here's an example. See, for me, right, here we go. I knew I wanted to become a speaker, but I was lazy. I was like, I'd never put any effort into becoming a speaker. My first paid speaking engagement, actually no, it was my second. My first paid speaking engagement was in a private school. My second paid speaking engagement, I was a keynote speaker. They offered me a fee, and I demanded double. Right? There's no word of a lie. I demanded double because I know what I'm worth. Alright? And these are all key things for you. And by the way, originally, it was free. They weren't paying me. I said, no. Absolutely not. Because I know my worth. And by the way, it depends on the environment. This was a business event. Okay? So for the business event, it's corporate people. There's money in corporate, there's money in business. So I'm getting paid for this. If it was charity, if it was like something where you know money's not part of the game, then I'm cool speaking for free. It's a different environment, right? But when I published my book, then I was like, okay, yeah, well, I need to start doing some viral marketing for the book. With that viral marketing, I then got reached out for all the opportunities. I got asked to do the keynote talk. I never hunted it down. One would call this attraction marketing, but here's what I call it: living with purpose. When you live with purpose, things come to you naturally. It's a byproduct because of how you're showing up in this world as a leader. But what does it come down to? It comes down to every single day you wake up and you say, how am I going to impact one person today? Okay? Never underestimate the power of changing someone's life on a daily basis. And it can, trust me, the compound effect takes over. So let's wrap this up. If you are someone who's been through shit and you're like, I want to impact other people with my story, but I don't know if I can, let's squash that. You can. Look in the mirror. Simple. You can. Start telling yourself that you can. Because the fact that you're still here, alive today, proves that you can help other people. Okay? Done. I don't need to speak more on that. Second is, if you want to impact other people with your story and like, well, how do I do it? You know there's ways. Write a book. That's probably in your mind already. Speaking, maybe that was on your mind. It's not necessarily about the ways that you can do it. It's about fully stepping into the shoes of that person and owning it. And asking yourself the one magical question every single day. And if I was you, I would just focus on that for like the next 3 months. Easy. 6 months. I mean, I want to say forever, but I'm more so saying like focus on that before you start worrying about, but I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, cool. But how about you prove to the world that you're actually serious about this and wake up every single day and say, how can I impact one person today? Is it a text? Is it a message? Is it spending hours in my DMs? Is it doing a video? You know, is it writing a letter to someone? Is it going to the, you know, there's a million and one ways. And you'll find out those ways naturally from stepping into your purpose. Okay? All right. I hope that helps. If you've got any questions about that, then drop them below this YouTube video. And if you want to join the Power School, which is where we help survivors, trauma survivors of all kinds of traumas, to basically become leaders, and we provide them with all these different courses and all these different pathways to helping people. We've got writing a book in there, becoming a speaker, growing an audience, going viral, bunch of different ways, daily coaching calls, everything to help you start impacting people with your story. Then you can click the link in the description underneath this video. But other than that, guys, I'm going to take these gloves off because now I'm going to fuck off and spend some time with my girlfriend before we go to sleep. All right? Have fun. And guys, tomorrow you best be waking up and asking yourself, how can I impact one person? And by the time you go to sleep tomorrow, you can go to sleep knowing that you've helped that one person. Because that right there is what it's all about. Cheers. Be powerful.